Hi everyone, welcome into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. Glad to have you with us today. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and it is Upper Tampa Bay, and we are going to have an amazing show today because we happen to have special guests as always. Jerry Custon, welcome back, my co-host.
Thank you very much.
And very, very involved with the Chamber.
Oh, yeah.
And you have Amanda Murphy, Representative Amanda Murphy, that agreed when I twisted her arm at the last meeting that I saw her at. Welcome. It finally happened.
Thank you. Yes, I'm excited to be here. This is great.
I know. You twisted her arm too a little bit. It didn't take much twisting though, right?
No, we met a couple times, but the main thing that I chatted up to her was at our manufacturing dinner. We had October the 6th, and Representative Murphy came to that. And we had, about 170 people to that.
Yes, the room was packed. It was wonderful.
So the room was packed. We had that. And so we had a good conversation about that. And I was thinking about asking her to come on the show. And then we had that grand, the opening of your new business. And so there we went.
I know. That was so exciting. It was meant to be.
It was.
And that was just a couple of weeks ago. So you're here. Now, we have you for two segments here today, because I think you have a lot to share with our viewers out there, and we're really honored. And of course, our show is live today, totally unrehearsed, very organic. You will be able to see the archive show, so if you want to tell friends that might be working or what have you, or if you're running your business right now, you will be able to see the archive show. So let's hit on a lot of the points about your priorities of District 36 and the state, and what your insights are with past session, moving forward. I'm just going to kind of turn it over to you.
Okay, yes, I've been elected for 3 years. We had 6 terms in those 3 years, so that was a very special time.
Wow, wow.
Tallahassee, we didn't get along for the year, so we spent a lot of time together, and this past session went much smoother with only one dissension on the budget, so that's a rare occasion.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but in the last 3 years, we've had a lot of work that we've done on human trafficking. That seems to be something that's going on worldwide. But it's a $39 billion industry. It's taking over our drug trafficking. They are now using our children. So in Tallahassee, we really had to focus on how can we slow this process down and eliminate it. Well, you first have to go after the pimps and those people that are abusing these young men and women. 25% of the traffic victims are male.
Wow.
I think that's a very high number, but that was what we learned in our committee.
Really?
Yep. And so, yes. And so then we also said, well, if we have no one asking for the services, so let's make their sentence. If we find you using a young child's services, you will be prosecuted at the maximum.
Oh, absolutely.
So we focused on both ends of that, and then where are these kids coming from? What children are most susceptible? It's our foster kids. 70% of them are coming from our fosters. Yeah, that's the area that we're going to have to continue work on in the next few years, because if you don't know, it's very hard to get people to foster. That's a lot. I wish that I didn't work 2 jobs right now, because that would be something that my husband and I would take on, especially teens. But it's hard to get families to open their homes, and then you get attached to a child and then they get ripped out, or you have a special needs child that is going to need special services and counseling. It's very difficult.
So that's the most at risk.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that is just so enlightening to hear that. We're so far removed from that type of thing, but it's out there, and that is quite a task to take under.
Right, and imagine, so we're all sitting here, we're in committee for the first time, and you have victims come in and testify. I cried so many times. I can tear up now just thinking about some of these children who are now adults, but they're coming and advocating for others.
I was just going to say, because we do get guests on our show from the different events that are coming up and the different charities that work towards making this go away. And people that have grown up and have had those challenges, lived with challenges, but then they've gone on either to a halfway house, the Pace girls here in Newport Richey.
Wonderful.
And I get I guess I get goosies when I think about it, because when
Yeah.
you see what they've done, and what they do is make something for themselves, a life for themselves, then they come back to give back. And that's how it does. And you know, I have to say that Jerry is so big about talking about relationships. This is how the community comes together and makes a difference.
It is.
Yeah.
It's, you know, like I say, it's all about relationships, and they got to be based on trust and integrity, or else what do you have?
Exactly.
You have no society.
That's right. That's
You
right.
have no society.
And I mean, what's happening in our society today is somebody's got to do something.
Yeah.
Somebody that's got something up here.
Right.
Right.
Now
And
that-
that's why the PACE Center works so well
Yes.
Now that
Yes.
39 billion, is that in Florida or is that nationwide?
nationwide.
Nationwide. Is there an ethnic component to it too, or?
No, we did not break it down into ethnicity. One of the things, the other thing that we broke it down to is we had to open up facilities for the victims that were separate from our regular foster care group homes, because some of them would get caught on purpose and then recruit from inside of our own
Exactly.
system. So
Exactly.
it takes
What?
private facilities, and they have to be out in a distance, so if the pimp
Yep.
finds out, oh, there's so much involved in
Yep.
The
this
criminal
war.
mind. What is, I mean,
Every problem in the world could be solved if the criminal mind would be used for good.
for good, for good. I say that all the
It's
time.
true.
Well, I'll tell you,
It's
you really have your work cut out for you, and I can clearly see that your heart's definitely in it. And thank you for your services.
Yeah, well, you know, our sheriff's department started the initiative here locally. So that was one of the wonderful things. It's the Tampa Bay area that has been doing the training nationwide.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's good to know.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Does it come down through Department of Children and Families, or down through the law enforcement side, or both?
Through both, but
Yeah.
here locally, Pasco County, our sheriff's department is our child enforcement. So they started out with the initiative and the bills.
So the training for
finding the trafficking victims and teaching law enforcement what to look for really started here locally.
that's really amazing.
And we have a
I'm
great
not
team.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. This county is just. I mean, all the counties.
Yes.
They cross over with one another and help one another.
Right, the Tampa Bay area is really
Well, every
trying to be
time you hear
connected.
Sheriff Chris Nacco, he is so on target.
Yes,
Yeah, he's on target.
he knows his stuff. That's
Yeah, he
right.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
we're very blessed. But
Here we are.
Wow, I didn't know that the training started here. So, is there anything else you want to share on this in this segment? Because we can always, if you do have, we can spill over into the next. Because we could probably spend hours talking about this whole human trafficking, and what about prevention? What about how do we get before all that nonsense?
Right. Well, and that's where we were hoping the laws put in so that people are worried and scared to utilize services from children. That was where we really thought, if you put in a 50-year, if you get caught, we're going to put you away for 50 years. Maybe that would hinder some of it. The other thing comes back to the drug addiction and mental health issues in the country. I mean, it all is linked together.
Right.
It really is. And that was the other initiative that we worked on in the past 2 years, was putting a comprehensive bill together, trying to focus on treatment once they're out of, if they're Baker Act or Marchman Act, that's only for a limited time. But once they get out, we need services to wrap around them to guarantee that we can keep them on the medications that they need or off of the drugs that we're trying to clean them up from. So think about the interconnection with all of that. Because we would never think about going and utilizing not even another human being, much less a child.
Right.
So you have to start at the core of the problem.
What about technology use in terms of recruitment or
Facebook,
yeah,
Instagram, all of those
social
things.
media is-
I know. Imagine being a parent of young children nowadays. There's so many ways that people can get to your kids. and think about in the foster homes, you've got more kids coming in and out. There's a real issue. The county here locally, I was just talking with the county commissioner, and they're putting an ordinance in to start putting signs inside of bathroom stalls that are giving informational numbers, and we put something through in Tallahassee for the main highways, interstate highways, where they would have numbers. But of course, you have to be able to remember the number and be able to get away from the person that is harming you.
You know, there's some great stories that we've had from kids with the sheriff youth ranches. Now, obviously, they don't have the capacity to deal with the numbers that you're dealing with this issue. But you know, we were talking earlier about how difficult it is to place. Those sheriff youth ranches seem to be really a great setting for some of these young kids that are, you know, not having a good home environment. And
giving them an alternative to focus on.
Yeah.
And getting them out of their own way.
They're great.
Hold your thoughts. We're going to take a brief little time out. When we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit more with Amanda. Very enlightening. Thanks for being with us.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Hi everyone, welcome back into My Chamber TV. It's very exciting to have you with us to actually glean some knowledge on what's happening in our area. We happen to have Representative Amanda Murphy with us. In case you're just tuning in, we get to have her for a second segment today, and she's sharing with us what's happening out there in the world and how she's really involved in making a difference. In the first segment, unfortunately, we're talking about something very sad, very negative, but the positive is our people like this are out there stepping in with both feet and their heart to make that difference. We were talking about the human trafficking and what's going on and how many are involved with this and what you guys are doing to make that change. And you were saying that this area right here where our studio is was where the training actually started to teach for plucking these evildoers out of society.
Yep, we were first on the initiative. It was wonderful to get to hear firsthand and be a part of the initiative in Tallahassee to help make it a statewide training and just knowledge base. So we really have, I think that we've changed a lot of lives over the last few years.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about.
Yes.
When you can save those children and know that it's going to take a while and it might be a lifetime, but they will have a future, because if they stay in the trafficking, it's a 7-year lifespan.
7 years, really?
Yeah, and they're starting as young as 9.
Oh.
Wow.
Yes, babies. So we have to get to them before it's too late.
Yeah.
And I think that we are doing that, and things will continue. A lot of churches have gotten involved. That's the link throughout the state, and giving their parishioners training on what to spot and how to look in the community.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, is there training for the average person?
Absolutely. If you have a group or organization, the sheriff's office does have deputies and colonels that will come out and talk to your group about what to look for, how to interact, and who to call. And I think that those are great for any organizations that are looking for speakers. They're always looking for speakers. Our sheriff's department would definitely.
That's
Do you
wonderful.
see that throughout the state now, where that could be almost any?
I know Pinellas does also.
Yeah.
That's good to know. That is really, really good to know.
Yeah, Sheriff Galtieri is a great guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Because they came and testified a couple times about things. It was pretty awesome what they do.
Well, you're really getting some eye openers, aren't you? And it's
Some of it you don't want to know, but
I
that's
know.
part of being there. You have to know what's going on to be able to make those positive changes.
absolutely. Well, congratulations for your work. Now, you've been doing some other things. I'm going to shift
Yes.
gears a little bit. We only have you for a few more moments.
That's
so
right.
what else is going on?
Well, I was also on the committee that worked on the water initiative for the state.
Oh,
Want to talk about a learning curve?
I bet.
So we grew up near water. My dad's a shrimper. That's all fine and good. But to talk about water quality and how to clean up our water system, it took us 2 years to work on that bill also. But we did put through new initiatives for SwiftMud, and I went to a water aquifer conference 3 weeks ago, and the scientists actually said that we did a good job. So I was pretty excited.
good.
Because,
Good.
you know, you never know what it's going to equate to when you're looking at a new bill. But we changed some terminology, shortened some deadlines on getting some of the water systems cleaned up. And I'm actually going to get to go down to the Everglades and be with the Everglades Foundation Trust, who's going to take me on a tour and go over more issues and where they want to see that bill go next.
Wow, that
do
is
exciting
exciting.
things.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
you said an interesting thing about the scientist and you as a representative. You can't be expected to know all those things about science and ecology and all those other kinds of things. And the point I'm making is that people sometimes complain about lobbyists. These guys are not necessarily lobbyists, but lobbyists in that capacity can fill a very, very important and useful function. And
Right.
that, if they don't have an agenda. If their agenda is to be truthful and help you be a representative, they're great.
Well, and I'll tell you where else I go are my chamber members. If I have a bill that is regarding your business, then I will literally look you up, send you the bill, and say, can you look at this within the next week?
Right.
Because otherwise, I don't have the knowledge level for every situation, and why not ask the people that it's going to affect?
Absolutely.
And
That's
isn't
an
it-
excellent idea.
And isn't that the way our government was supposed to work? You're
I
supposed to be
thought
the
so.
representative.
I think so.
I thought so, but
Yeah.
other people have told me that I'm one of the only lawmakers that actually ask questions of them. So I wish we could change that thought process.
Yeah. That'd
Yeah,
make us a better
exactly.
country, that's for sure.
Amen to that.
So that's another nice little thing to have on your plate. That's good. That's really
Yeah,
good.
I like to have my database full so that we can get other ideas out.
What's a typical day for you or week? Should I even ask?
So on, let's say a Tuesday, because typically we start Tuesday, might have an 8:30 committee, 8:30 to 11:30. Then I might get a lunch break, or someone will bring me food, and say from noon till 4, I'll have 15-minute meetings every 15 minutes, someone new will be coming in to talk about their legislative agenda. Could be a lobbyist. A lot of individuals come and visit Tallahassee, and they lobby for themselves. So those are fun to have. You get to meet people from all over the state.
Yes.
Yep, and then so 4 o'clock I might have another committee meeting from 4 to 6. Then from 6 to 10 there's usually mixers and other events where people want to get your time. You know, they've brought up a group, like I'm a part of the National Association of Financial and Insurance Advisors. They bring up a group and then they'll have a dinner that night, so you'll go to that dinner. And there are many nights that from 9 to 1 I'm reading my bills for the next day, writing my questions down if I have any.
Wow, that is an exciting day. It's, I think, a little more than a full-time job, that's for sure.
That's right.
But
That's my part-time.
You love it, right?
I do.
You can just tell she just loves it.
Oh, yeah. Let me ask you this. What we've done now in Pinellas, Senator Latvala a couple of years ago asked me and a couple of people to get together with some other chambers. And what we've been doing the past couple of years, this will be the third year, is all the chambers in Pinellas were getting together and putting together a legislative agenda. And then we'll come up and visit for 2 days and get with the Florida Chamber to get briefed up on that, then meet with the representatives on the next, then we'll have a social like you did in the evening.
Right. And
then meet with the representatives. But we're taking the time now to build a little book and give them, you know, the Pinellas business agenda for the whole delegation, so that the whole delegation can, you know, have a better understanding of what we see as the business community here. Is that a useful thing to do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Any of those things that we do, because when we have our delegation meetings, I keep that book and I refer to it as we're moving through the process.
Do you? Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Great idea.
Because I'll tell you, when I first started doing that, I went to a large delegation meeting in one of the counties I won't mention, but they take a day, and what I sat there thinking of, everybody goes up and wants their, you know, and they go to their representative. Well, you put this in the bill to give me this much money. You put there to get me this much money. You do this to give me this much money. And I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute, that's not their job. Right. If I'm doing that, if I'm coming to you and asking you directly for money for something personal agenda, that's not helping the system one iota.
Right.
That's milking the system. You know,
right.
And so that's why I thought this was a better way, is to pull all the chambers together and mutually agree to a business agenda that supports the whole county.
Absolutely, and then
Makes
you
sense.
have that,
Yeah.
right, you have a base to start from. Yes, I know. My rule of thumb is I never ask for appropriations unless I'm willing to give my own time and money to
Right.
it.
Right.
And have done in the past, but yes,
Right.
many groups do come.
That, well, it does. It really makes a lot of sense. You get more work done.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that just makes sense.
Right. That's what we try. That's what we're trying to do anyhow.
Cool.
That's a great plan, yeah.
Absolutely. We only have just another couple of minutes. I don't want to let you go. You're so
Thank
interesting,
you.
and it's so great to have you
This
here.
has been great to be here.
Well, how can we help you with our video streaming? You're going to have to come back.
That'll be great. And then maybe if there are viewers who are having issues and looking at different statutes that they feel are not working for them, they can always contact my office.
Okay.
That's really how legislation comes about, is a viewer will find
Yes.
something that,
Yes.
or a citizen will find something that isn't working, and they'll call our office, and we actually were able to make some changes because of what local individuals needed.
So, can you give me an example? Give our viewers an example.
My first year in office, a woman has an autistic son, 16 years old, so he's out on his own. He can come and go, but sometimes he looks like he's on drugs. So she wanted an ID, Florida ID, that had autism written on it, so that she could teach him to give it to a police officer if stopped. Took 3 years, but in the past session, the bill came out, and now there's going to be a way to put that on a Florida ID. You have to pay for the ID, but your child will then have an ID that they can give, because autistic children drive, they do many things, and that way it's just an extra for the first responder or the police officer when they come across someone, so they know why they're reacting differently.
That's an excellent.
Isn't that
So
nice?
simple things like that. It's
Yep.
not like they're, coming to beat on your door, like you're saying. To, give me a handout or whatever. They're getting things done. And, you know, that's what you guys are there for, to really help us get these different things done. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Definitely get a hold of Amanda and, you know, email her, call her. I think you're a little bit approachable, too.
Yes. You'll see me out. I'm always around.
That's really wonderful. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today and wish you so much success. And think about how we can use what we do here on the Chamber to help you with this crazy human trafficking thing. Right. Raising the awareness is the biggest thing. That's how I like to give back, because I have a big voice and a big mouth, and I like to get this across the airways to help in any way we can. Since I've been doing these shows, especially with the Chambers, I have learned more that has been going on in my own backyard that I never knew. And it really saddened me. So I thought, well, then jump in there and do something about it. See what you can do to raise more awareness. This show definitely does that. So thank you so much for being on.
Well, thank you both for having me. It's been wonderful.
All right.
Well, thanks, Amanda.
Thank you. And thank you for being with us. We still have a half hour to go. We'll be right back after this.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just one or two options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome into my Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly. With me is Jerry Custon, my sidekick and co-host. Once a month, every month.
Every month.
We're featuring the Upper Tampa Chamber of Commerce. It's very exciting. This segment is a little switch from talking to Representative Amanda, but I am thrilled to introduce Helena. Let me see if I can say this name. I practiced it a couple of times.
Demacopoulos.
Demacopoulos.
Yeah.
Demacopoulos. Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can I just say something? This gal moved here 1 month ago from Ohio, joined the Chamber of Commerce, and opened her own business. Just like that. And she's how old?
24.
24 years old. You are so smart for doing that, but wait, there's more. When you hear what she's doing, you run a business called Pinot's Palette, learning to paint and have your favorite wine.
Yeah.
Tell us all about this. This is exciting.
Oh, it's so much fun. We do 2- and 3-hour public painting classes, but we do also rent out the studio for birthday parties, bachelorette parties, corporate team building events. So there's a lot of different things you can do. But basically, you bring your favorite bottle of wine with you, you bring some beer, and then one of our art instructors will take you step by step through a painting. So we really break it down for beginners and make it easy for you to paint. And the wine definitely helps things too.
I was just going to say, depending on how much wine they have, that painting is going to be really interesting, right?
Call it liquid creativity.
Liquid creativity. I love her. I just love her.
Depends whether it's an abstract painting or whatever. You know?
Exactly. So how many do you have in the class?
We can hold up to 28 in the studio.
Really?
So we are actually one of the smaller studios in our franchise.
Oh, it's a franchise.
Yeah, there's about 200 of us throughout the United States.
Oh, very cool. So what made you decide to open up Pinot's business, the Pinot's Palette?
I didn't actually have a specific business in mind. I knew I wanted to move to Florida, and I knew I wanted to own a business, so I actually just started looking online at things for sale, and the Pinot's Palette listing just jumped right off the page at me. So
aha moment, right?
Right.
Oh, that's
I called
fab.
my parents. I said, wow, look at this. Could you imagine anything more perfect for me? So we came to look at it, and I just fell in love, and now here I am.
So you didn't get too far from your childhood entrepreneuring, right? You had lemonade stands?
Oh yeah, all the kids in the neighborhood would be outside playing, and I'd be sitting there selling lemonade or colored rocks or pretty much anything I could get my hands on.
Wow.
I love it. Once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur. That's exciting. So what can you give us an idea of what the class costs?
Sure. For a 2-hour class, it's $35 a person, and then for a 3-hour class, it's $45 a person. We do have some special classes. We have a project pet class that's a little more expensive, and you actually send us a photo of your pet. We get it photoshopped onto a canvas for you in black and white, and then you just paint right over top. We also have light-up paintings with Christmas lights, and there are some specialty things that are a little more expensive, but we have some really cool ideas, so it's not just painting a picture all the time.
That is exciting.
Well, if you're coming in with just new, do you bring your own subject matter, or do you guys help them pick a subject matter? Or
we designate the painting for you. So we do make our calendar. There's a class scheduled Wednesday through Sunday. But if you do schedule a private party with us, you actually get to choose your own painting for the event.
Okay.
So you supply the paints and everything?
Yes, we supply everything. You just supply
Even
your
the canvas?
wine and your beer, and that's about it. We supply the canvas and all the paints. So yeah, everything is provided for you in the studio.
So let me go back.
You provide your talent and the fun.
Yeah, exactly.
$35 for a 2-hour and $45 for a 3-hour
Yes.
painting class, and that's start to finish?
Yes.
Wow.
Then you go paint the town.
I'm telling you, absolutely.
There you go.
Acrylics?
Yes, we use acrylic paints.
Very nice. Well, that sounds really fun, and you've just been open a month. I've got to come down there and check it out. Where are you exactly?
We're in Oldsmar, so we're at Curlew and Tampa Road in the Woodland Square Shopping Center right there.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of hard to find, but we are by Eve's Restaurant and Anytime's Fitness. So if you can
I think
find,
I know just where you are.
Yeah, we're in that little plaza there, right on Curlew Road.
So how did you get hooked up with the chamber? You just knew that was the thing to do?
The previous owners of the business actually introduced me to Jerry and Joanne, and then they reached out to me, and I ended up joining. And now I know everybody in the chamber. I've been going to as many events as possible, and it's really been a great way to get to meet people in the community and get my name out there.
Exactly.
And we introduced her to about 15,000 new friends over the weekend.
Yeah.
Tell her about that.
Yeah, so we did a pop-up studio this weekend at Oktoberfest, and it went so much better than I could have imagined. We had 12 little spots set up. You could do a mini canvas or paint a wine glass for $10.
Seriously.
And yeah, It was so much fun. We actually had a lot of kids coming up. Entire families would come sit and paint. And then the glass paint actually is dishwasher safe, so you can actually use your painted wine glasses as well. They're not just for decoration.
Oh, I love art. And in fact, I just pulled my easel out to get back into it because I haven't been doing it.
Awesome.
But to have something like this where it can be like a family affair, a party affair,
Right.
Just a celebration, just, friends getting together.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. Have you tried this yet?
Yeah, in Oktoberfest they hadn't had their own. They didn't even have to bring their own wine because we had about $30,000 worth of beer. And all the beer in the world.
So you definitely have to come back, and I want to come down there. I really want to book to do something like that.
You ask if I've done that. Yeah, I have a little bit, but my military background. My wife and I took lessons in Germany for 4 years with a German guy who was the head of the Wiesbaden Art Museum.
Okay.
And he started with pen and pencil, and then you get into watercolor. Then you got into oils. He never went to acrylics. You got into oils, and then you just stay with them. And then the last thing you do is pastels. And then with the pastels, you'd say, "Okay, I need a lesson." He says, "No, you don't need a lesson, because with all the other things, you got to blend your own colors. With the pastels, you got the color." He says, "You now have the knowledge. You now have the knowledge of perspective. You have the knowledge of drawing. You have all the knowledge you need. That's why I don't teach pastels. I just I give you the pastels."
Oh.
You know all that you need to know now.
There you go. There you go. Well, I just have to commend you for doing something like this. I mean, on your own, 24 years old. She comes to Florida and opens up a business, joins the chamber, bada bing, bada boom, you're on your way. I mean, you really made a good choice, didn't you?
Yeah, I feel so blessed. I couldn't have imagined anything better. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life where I would wake up and be excited to go into work every day,
and you know
that's
what?
really important.
That's how it should be.
Right.
That's what I do. I get excited coming here and doing what I do.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference rather than doing whatever and just dreading getting up and going in, you know.
Right.
And I know you love what you do over at the chamber too.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of
It's
fun.
a passion. It's passion.
Right.
And art is so expressive. And you know, when my kids were going to school, I always encouraged them with art classes and things like that, and they were very, very good. But there's some people that think that they aren't good at it or they aren't an artist. But to me, I think there's an artist in everyone.
And we do get a lot of those into the studio, actually, because people will be very intimidated coming in. They'll say, "Oh, I'm so nervous. I can't even draw a straight line. How on earth am I going to do a painting?" And then by the time they leave, they're ecstatic, and they say, "Wow, I can't believe I painted this." So we really, really break it down for you and make it as easy to understand as possible. And our instructors are wonderful. They're all art students or art teachers, so they will go around and give you individual one-on-one attention if you need it. And our goal is to make sure you go home with a painting that you're happy with.
So do you have more than one art teacher in the class then?
Yes, so for large groups we have 2 instructors, and if there's 15 or less in the class we have 1. I'm usually at the studio every night helping out as an artist assistant anyway. I found that way I can give people a little more one-on-one attention and give them that customer service that they're really looking for. So we usually have 2 artists there for our classes, but sometimes for the Project Pet or some of our specialty classes, we might even have 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That just
And the
makes me
good thing with
smile.
acrylics is you can cover your mistakes.
I know.
Exactly.
I
Just
know.
wait for it to dry, and then you can paint over
Yeah.
top of it 100 times if you need to.
I just had this conversation with somebody the other day, acrylics versus oils.
Yeah.
I just could not get into oils because
They're
you have to wait for it
difficult.
to dry and all
Yeah.
that. I mean, I don't know if they're still that way, are they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
oils
that
are
was-
very difficult.
And that was the thing with the watercolor, you know,
Right.
because you made a mistake with watercolor, you throw it out.
It's too bad.
You're
Right.
done.
You can't change
so,
it.
So that's what this guy did. He taught you all the discipline, and then it would get, you know.
Well, you guys got me psyched about doing artwork again. That's
It's
exciting.
very relaxing.
It
It's a
is.
great way
I
to
think
unwind.
it's therapy.
Yeah.
It is so, because you have to focus 100%. You can't be thinking about what bills you're paying first. You can't think
Exactly.
about dinner. You have to focus in and of the moment, which is the way we should be living anyway. But
Right.
when you're doing something creative, you need all those brain cells firing, I'm guessing.
Exactly, yeah.
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 Good for you. I wish you so much luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I bet we're going to be seeing more of her studios popping up everywhere.
We hope
I
so.
hope so.
Yeah. Wow, that is so
What
good.
we're really hoping first is have more people in her studio. That's our first
Well,
goal.
that's what we
Yeah.
want. I mean, think about this. Are you getting bored just having regular parties at the house, whatever? It's the same thing every birthday, every different event. Imagine how fun it would be to go down to Pino's Palette and go in for a 2 or 3 hour class, depending on what you want to do. It's only $35 for 2 hours, $45 for 3 hours. Everything is supplied. You bring a bottle of wine, and I tell you, I just know you're going to have an absolutely awesome time. You have teachers there to help you start to finish in that lesson. So it's not like you're going to get started and you take it home and finish, because you know what'll happen there. You'll get too busy and won't go back to it. And what a way to relax. Are you stressed out from your job? The politics going on, right? Anything in this crazy world, get out of your own way. Take an art class down at Pino's, because I just know it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see me down there.
Awesome. I
Leave
hope
your
so.
business card with me, okay? I'm going to
Yeah.
give you a call.
That definitely sounds great.
All right. Thank you, my dear. Good luck
Thank
to you.
I really appreciate it.
All right. And thank you for being with us. We're going to be right back with one more guest right here on My Chamber TV.
Everyone's story is different, so why be limited to just 1 or 2 options? With Norcom's Norflex Home Loan, you're given the flexibility to tell your story. Pick your terms from 8 to 30 years, all while maintaining a low, fixed mortgage rate. You can pay off your loan more quickly or choose a term based on your budget and timeline. Whatever you do with the Norflex Home Loan, make it part of your financial plan. Norflex, short-term, long-term, your terms. Apply online at norcommortgage.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of our community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is Jerry Custon, Upper Tampa Chamber of Commerce. And our last guest is Patrick Beaumont, who is going to be talking about a lot that's going on in Pinellas County and with the Chamber of Commerce and all this manufacturing. UTBMA, what is that all about?
Upper Tampa Bay Manufacturers Association is we are the concierge for manufacturers.
Oh, okay.
It's the West Gulf Coast region of Florida is actually the largest manufacturing in Florida. There's 94,000 jobs. It's so many jobs, people can't believe it. And the wages that they pay are much greater than the average job. The good thing about it is for people who are young coming up, the average age on the shop floor is 56 years old, so they have hair like mine. And so there's a great need.
Wait a minute, look back up there. The average age is 56?
56.
No kidding.
We call that the silver tsunami.
Yes.
The silver tsunami. I love it.
But it's not just the shop floors either. It's also the owners of the companies.
Yeah, yeah.
So one of the things that we try to do is because of different trade agreements, a lot of people, especially parents, think that all the jobs went to Mexico and China.
Right.
And there's this tremendous need, and it's actually skilled labor. It's not like what you saw years ago where people put a tire on a car, and that's manufacturing. Incredible skills needed: computer skills, math, reading, the ability to do drawings, computer controls, etc., like that. And it pays very well, and there's a longevity there. But unfortunately, for about the last 20 years, manufacturing kind of got ignored by all the leaders of the communities because they thought it took care of itself or it was gone. And so what we've done is, with Jerry's Circle of Love, as we call it, we bring all the resources out there, all these different silos. And all these different resources, we bring them right to the manufacturer, and then we help them with what they actually need. We don't come with any preset agenda. We like to call them round to it's. Those little things that you run this company and you've always wanted to get round to doing it, round to it.
But you never set it as a priority.
And you just can't do it. And some of them are silly and some are incredible.
Sure.
We work with a medical device manufacturer, and they have 3 different languages on their shop floor, so the procedures can be difficult. So they said they want them in different language, and they went to the FDA, who makes it impossible to get them in 3 languages, to have them linguistically certified, et cetera, et cetera. So they jokingly said, what if we did pictures? And the FDA said, yeah. We found them people to do that.
Really?
Yes.
Just take pictures of their procedures and lay out the pictures of the procedures.
Well, hello.
And
then they got around to it.
And they got around
They
to
got
it.
around to it. I love it.
Yeah.
There's so many out there. Instead of coming like some of the government groups, they have these programs that they want to place upon manufacturers. I think that's what's going to help them. We find what the manufacturers really need. A lot of times it is looking for skilled labor, so we bring the different groups together. We help with education. Jerry's on a variety of boards for this. I'm on the board of the Science Center, where we're putting manufacturing training. We work with Career Source. We find interns. The local colleges have all these kids who want to be interns, but the colleges don't know who the manufacturers are.
Oh.
And the manufacturers don't reach out to the colleges.
So you're connecting the dots here.
Exactly.
That's why we're a concierge.
Yeah.
I love this.
You know,
And who knew? Did you know? I mean, think about that. Do you live in the Pinellas County area? Who would have ever thought that this is happening right in your very own county, in your hometown? You know, if you're a business owner, if you're a manufacturer, you know somebody that is a manufacturer. I mean, this is amazing. This is amazing stuff.
Well, most of our manufacturers are 50 or less, and you know the reality is that, like Patrick said with the silver tsunami, these individuals, the owners, know their business inside and out.
Sure.
But they're trying to be the CFO, the CEO, the HR guy, the IT guy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff they can't get around to.
Right.
And that's why we're trying to say, wait a minute, step back, look at your business. We'll bring somebody to it that can get it. They'll be expert in it. It'll be done. Then you can go on to something else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's all we're trying to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is one of the biggest benefits of being a member of the Chamber of Commerce. That's what I tell you, I love interviewing you and what's going on in the community so that business owners out there can be brought up to date on what's happening and how they can engage in the community. And going back to building relationships, which is your favorite thing to talk about.
Well, this is actually we're doing is the opposite of the chamber. At the chamber, we have mixers where people come to and they meet each other.
Yes.
With this, because the manufacturers don't get out to do those kinds of things, with this, we're bringing those people to go to those mixers to them.
To them.
For individual things rather than group things.
Yes. Yes.
So it's actually we're just taking the strength of the chamber and make it the strength of this organization.
We have a company moving down here from Minneapolis, and they had this circle of services that they knew they were going to need. They didn't know who to go to. And when Jerry showed them our circle, they're like, that actually is every single circle we have. We're just going to rely on you to help us with this company.
One-stop shop.
That's exactly who we
That's
become.
who we wanna be.
We want the owners of the companies to get off the computer and get off the phones and search.
You know, we're hooked into the workforce development people, the career source agencies, the staffing agencies, basically the economic development people who have the grants and incentives, USF who gets into patents and safety and things of that nature. So that's where we're one stop no matter where you want to go, whether it's incentives, whether it's workers, whether it's developing new products and services, whether it's increasing your your ISO standards to produce things according to new technology standards. We do it all.
See, most manufacturers, what's great about them is the money that they get comes from the outside the community and stays here. So the more we help the local manufacturers grow, we actually bring a lot of money into the community that way.
Just like tourism.
Yes.
Just like tourism.
Manufacturing affects the utilities and the roads and the education with the tax base. So they help promote it. And the more the manufacturing we get them involved, the more they get involved with education, the more the jobs are going to be there. And there's actually an underemployment right now in manufacturing, where there's not enough skilled labor in the Bay Area. That's what's holding it back.
No kidding.
No kidding.
And the manufacturers feel they're probably at about 60% of their productivity, possible productivity.
Because they cannot get enough workers.
Enough skilled workers.
Skilled workers. And that's what makes the difference, because that improves your quality assurance with the businesses.
Well, it's so much more technical now. If you're just doing like the companies that make the hoods for restaurant, to bend all the aluminum and everything else, you actually have to know basic trig to be able to bend correctly, to get all the angles.
To what?
Yes.
What did you say?
You have to have basic trigonometry skills to do all the bends correctly in the hoods when you're doing the angles, so you do it correctly.
Oh. Wow.
You don't think about those things.
No, you don't.
No.
You really don't.
No, and it's really shocking, as a study came out a few years ago that said the average high school senior can figure out the inch and the half inch on a ruler, and that's it. They don't know what the other markings are for.
Quarter inch, eighth of an inch.
So
Are you serious?
It's serious. So how do they convert that to a micrometer and a caliper? And so we really try to work. The education leaders come to us and they say, what do manufacturers want? The manufacturers go, we got to tell someone this. And then we bring the different politicians to the groups, and we work with banks so they can help work with the manufacturers, work with the employment groups, everything. We work with ex-offender groups, the veterans groups.
Wow. I want to know more about this. This is really exciting.
Well, I was at a Florida Department of Education panel in July, and they asked me to be one of the panelists to talk about what does industry need out of education. And I told the educators there, I told them the third thing they want is you. The third thing they want is the name of your diploma or your degree. The first thing they want is a person that will show up for 40 hours a week and work as part of a team and be able to communicate person to person instead of having to use their fingers on a cell phone.
Thank you.
Okay? That's the first thing they want. The second thing they want, he already mentioned, they want these aptitude skills that are, adaptable to things. You better know that math. You better be able to know those conversions. You better be able to basically use a computer, okay? You better be able to, what I call, use computers to make other computers do work.
Sure.
Whether it's robotics or 3D printing or CNC machining. And you better understand the functions, the basic functions of electricity. How many times does something go wrong and you don't think about the fundamental thing? We'll go back and put the plug in and it'll work, So they want those kinds of things first before they worry about that diploma or degree.
Sure.
Because if you're not going to show up and do what you're supposed to do, you're of no use.
Exactly.
So.
And the other great thing is for the young kids, if they get out of high school and they decide to work in manufacturing, I always tell them, kids go to college every day, and they end up going for like 5 years. No one says 4. Come on, let's be honest. You partied 1 year. And they have 60 to 80,000 in student loans. They get about 25 to 30,000 in your job afterwards. Well, if you go to manufacturing, you show the things that Jerry talks about. There are all these apprenticeship grants, and the companies will help pay for the grants, and you come out 3.5 years later as a certified machinist, and you're making about 40,000 a year. You can go anywhere in the United States, you're certified, and you have 0 student loans.
Nice. That was worth this whole hour to hear what you just said.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. And this is right happening in our community, right here in Pinellas County. So you can find out more about it and get a hold of you to
Well, we're here to
pick
help.
your brain. I mean, I could sit and we always bring such great
That's all we're
guests.
doing.
I know, raising the awareness and letting people know what's out there. And gosh, that is. I'm still stuck on that ruler thing.
It's a little scary sometimes.
So you're basically reteaching in a sense.
I took a school board member who, basically was into a manufacturer because she wanted to see herself as a Hillsborough school board member. Took her over to a manufacturing shop. She's walking around, everything's orderly, everything's getting done, and she says, nothing here looks particularly hard. She said, you're telling me our students can't do this? She says, yeah, they don't know how to measure. And she says, that can't be true. Says we have these engineering academies and everything else, and I don't see anything here that our kids can't do. He says, you're right, there's nothing here our kids can't do, but they don't know how to do it. And then he took her over and then started showing her the micrometer, and I'm not doing this to a 1/2 inch, I'm doing this to a 10,000th of a millimeter, okay? And she go, whoa, okay.
You're leaving me perplexed. You really are. It looks like it's time for us to say goodbyes, but thank you once again for bringing such great guests and enlightenment in our community. So continued success with what you guys are doing with the Upper Tampa Chamber, and I will see you next month.
Next month.
Same time. We're the 4th Wednesday of every month.
4th Wednesday of every month.
Every month, Upper Tampa. In the meantime, thank you for joining us today on My Chamber TV. I will be back with you next week featuring another chamber. In the meantime, God bless. Have a wonderful week.